Hello, YouTube friends. Today I just want to chime in a little bit on the movement that's happening right now called hashtag Keep Etsy Human. I can't talk very well this morning. I'm extremely tired. I hope it doesn't show too much. So this is something that was started by Etsy expert Starla Moore. If you don't follow her, I definitely recommend following her if you are an Etsy seller. I am not a big Etsy expert. I've been selling on Etsy for like 4 years, and I am just really focused on Goimagine right now and really spreading the word about Goimagine. So I haven't spent a lot of time making videos for Etsy related stuff too much. And I'm, like I said, I'm not a huge expert. I have not reached the level that anybody like Starla has reached. However, I just wanted to make my own little video and talk a little bit about my thoughts on the Keep Etsy Human. First of all, I watched the Friday Bean that came after the main short little video that they made, and one thing that I kind of side with is more on Mark's opinions about what's going on with Etsy, and that's that it's not a huge overwhelming problem at this point, but at the same time it is something that we need to be concerned could and will spread. The more that we allow Etsy to do to us, the more they're going to. So, when it comes to holding back funds from sellers, that's nothing that's ever happened to me. I have a POD shop and I have a handmade shop, and I've never had a problem with that. Haven't really had a lot of problems, to be honest. I did get my POD shop shut down a week or so after it had started. Maybe it was even more than that. And, just had to send the email and wait a few days. Maybe it was like 5 days before my shop got put back up again. And that really sucked because I felt like I was really getting momentum, and then it was shut down, and just that time that it sat and was inactive and nobody was able to, search my shop or my listings or anything, it kind of felt like that hurt me. But overall, I haven't had a lot of the issues that are a concern right now, but that doesn't mean that might not happen to me in the future. And that doesn't mean that other people who I know aren't going to be affected by it. So that's why I just wanted to kind of chime in and say my point of view. I definitely will be involved in Friday's, storming the social media of the different Etsy folks wherever I can, and I'll definitely do that on LinkedIn, which I know is something probably a lot of people won't do, just because it's not as easy. If they're not on there all the time. LinkedIn is not a huge place for handmade sellers in general. It's not somewhere that they're going to spend a lot of their time in the industry that we're in. They're going to spend their time more on your mainstream social media. But I'm going to do that, and I have to do it. It's just something that I have to do. I do have to talk about Goimagine because there's a lot of the complaints that folks are having about Etsy are things that are not a problem on Goimagine, and I honestly can say I don't believe they will ever become a problem on Goimagine. Now, just in case you haven't heard about Goimagine yet, I do want to say you can't sell from anywhere besides the United States. We don't ship to anywhere besides the United States. There are limits there. It's handmade only. There's no POD allowed at this time. That could change in the future, but at this time it's not. And of course, there's not the search volume on Goimagine that there is on Etsy. It took Etsy many years to build up that search volume. Goimagine's been around for about 3 years. And I've been on there pretty much since the beginning. And I've gotten sales, and I've gotten organic sales, and I've gotten sales from people searching in Google. And, I've gotten sales that I've sent to the site myself. And there are a lot of people who can say they've been on Etsy for 3 years and they haven't gotten any sales if they haven't, brought buyers in on their own. And I can say that I've received that on Goimagine. So, it's one of those things. Don't keep all of your eggs in one basket. If you're a handmade seller and you're in the United States and, you're not just completely overwhelmed or brand new and just started selling on Etsy and overwhelmed with everything you're learning, I definitely recommend opening a Goimagine shop. It doesn't have to be your main focus even, but it's just something you can have a little bit more of your name spread out a little bit further. Something interesting that Kara Bunton had posted recently was just when you look for a certain item that she sells on Google, now it shows up 1 or 2 times more than it did prior because it shows up her Goimagine listings as well. So before it was her regular website and her Etsy, and you could see a couple of them in there, but now she's dominating for certain things because when someone searches edible green butterflies or something, I think was her example, it was like 6 out of 10 on the first page were all hers, so it's just one of those things to get your name out there more and have have those the Google searches and things show up more for your products, especially if you sell something unique. And for me, I believe Goimagine is best for somebody who sells something that's truly, truly handmade. And I'm not saying that, you don't sell something handmade if you don't make every single stitch and every single little thing to it. But for me, I paint wood shapes and I make magnets and ornaments out of them. I do the painting, I can personalize them, but I don't even cut the wood shapes myself. I actually, have to get those pre-made, for example. And I just find that the items that sell the best are those that, somebody actually makes the little charms out of polymer clay, versus there's plenty of people that buy a little polymer clay or plastic or whatever material charm, and then they just drill a little hole in it and then they turn that into a necklace. And honestly, that is technically handmade, I guess, but there's all these different kind of levels, I guess, to how handmade something might seem to somebody, and just depends on each person's personal opinion on that. So I'm not trying to put anybody down if they have kind of a simple process and they're not really having to do a ton of steps. Some of my items are a lot easier to make than others. Some of them take me hours and hours, and some of them don't. But I find that the items that take hours and hours are the kind that people are looking for on Goimagine, because they're not just shopping for a gift for their friend. They're shopping for something that is handmade, and they really value that. So that's just my opinion on it. If anybody has any questions about Goimagine, feel free to leave a comment, and I'm willing to answer questions truthfully and honestly. It's not perfect. It's small, and there's lots of kind of learning curves to setting up the site. Some people who are really bad with technology have struggled with it a little bit, but there's so much help. There's the founders of Goimagine are on the Facebook group, and they're there to answer questions, and they respond to you, and they have an email, and they respond to you generally within 72 hours if you send them an email to the support. There's an easy way to get in contact with them and get help when you need help. So anyhow, that's all I have to say about that. Definitely keep Etsy human. Didn't want to turn this into a complete Goimagine thing, but we do really need that Etsy to hear our voices, and I hope that everybody will do their part. And if you don't know what to say, just share Starla's video, and just share that and hashtag keep Etsy human and share it on all social media platforms and everywhere that you can. And I think that'll be good too, so you don't have to put a lot of time into making something if you don't have time to do that, but it doesn't mean that you can't participate. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If you found this interesting or helpful in any way, make sure to give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear more about Goimagine. And we do discuss Etsy, and I have a couple videos on Michael's Maker's Place right now and stuff like that. So I'm working on some different things, but subscribe and see what new videos come out here in the coming weeks. Thank you.